Is there any realm of possibility where you'd let me go to Colombia, Costa Rica, or the Dominican Republic with just me and my friends?
Just go. Have you noticed that I don't care anymore?
I actually have noticed that, and it's pissing me off. Why doesn't she care anymore?
That's why you're trying to get a rise out of me.
Yeah, you don't care at all anymore.
I know. It's kind of boring, right?
I know. I used to hide my phone. Now she comes over, and it's just like girls' asses clapping on Instagram. And she's like, girl power, love it. That's what she'll say to me. She'll be like, well, you want something to eat, honey? She just doesn't care. So are you having an affair? That's the question.
No, I don't want to be bothered.
You're at that point of the relationship where you just don't even care at all either way.
No.
Indifference.
Don't care.
That's good.
More roses. Put this on. What is he doing? Does it keep going? Light the candle. This is so romantic. Where is this leading? Going up. Oh my god. Pour a glass, please. We've been together 2 years. You are the girl of my dreams. Oh my god. I want to take the next step and ask you a huge question. Follow the roses. Babe, what is this? Open me. Will you do my laundry? All of this for this?
Alright, hold on. Open it up.
For the rest of our lives. That's a ring in there.
Will you marry me?
This year for real?
Yeah. Will you marry me?
Yes! Yes!
Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode, and I am your host, the Empress H baby. Today's topic is on the psychology of misogyny, humiliation ritual, and energy harvesting of women. Yeah, I know that's a mouthful, but let's get into it, okay? Now, humiliation ritual, in my opinion, is the more sinister version of negging. Negging is to groom and acclimatize you to receiving and expecting less, while humiliation ritual is the KO that finishes the job. Yeah, very nasty. Goal of humiliation ritual, it's a control mechanism, a psychological weapon. Victims of humiliation ritual are so used to the maltreatment that they stay even after the degradation. This is the part that the men gloat about, the ability to be in someone's mind that no matter how bad you treat them, they stay. That is what makes it so effective. The high or the power you get from maltreating someone and they still stay. Now let's address the fallacy of the dream woman. Because I don't like the way that misconception is flying around on the internet for young, naive girls to listen to and somehow think that, yeah. Anyway, being a man's dream woman doesn't mean much except that he might put in the effort to wear a mask longer with you. But that don't mean you're safe. That just means you're comfortable. And that's even way more dangerous because you can get blindsided when he pulls this bait and switch on you. Being a man's dream woman doesn't mean much. Okay, you can be a man's dream woman and he will still seek to destroy you. Because that's how empty he is to feel any sort of power or relevance. Beware of this. It's very important. Now watch this, okay? I'll be on the back end for my commentary. Toodaloo.
The thing is, if they had her number, they'd try to coffee date Beyonce. People try to decode men, but it's really as simple as they want the most benefit for the least sacrifice. Thank you. And also, it's a really big kink for men to humiliate women, especially women who they perceive to be out of their league. And something you'll notice in male friendship groups, like they will brag to each other about dogging out women. And it's almost like the more conventionally beautiful woman, the more they humiliate her, the more status they get. So for those of you who are still convinced you're going to get treated better by the way you look, which I think there's some truth to that, as far as a man will wear a mask for a longer amount of time, or he'll try harder to try and trick you. But I remember, I've talked about this before, one time a man, he Irish exited. He left me with all of his friends and ditched me. And I was kind of embarrassed about it. And the friends were like, oops, he said he's sorry. And it's like, oh, this is a humiliation ritual. To discard a really beautiful woman is a status thing for them. To get to get any woman, and to, it's so crazy when you think about it, but to get the Chanel bag, and the reason I use items is because this is how men think. They don't stop thinking, they see you as a person. Okay? One time, a clown, he said to me, I need to see if we're schmexually compatible, which is more red pill. And that always means a man's into disgusting corn stuff. And I do kink shame. Ugh. And they're not even good at the basic acts. It's like, start there, guys, before you want to get into those. Anyway, I'm tangenting, which I don't know if it's a verb. But he said to me, you know, I want to see if we're sexually compatible. And I was laughing in my head because I was like, wow, the way men talk to us, and, you know, like the reason they don't want to see it, us to see it as a transaction, even with capitalism, because the same guys who are like, let the markets decide. They don't know what they're talking about, by the way. But they don't want women to understand it's a transaction because we stay losing. And once we start saying, oh, there is a game, right? There's so many women who are obsessed with saying there is no game. But once you start saying, oh, there is a game, and now I can see how to actually defend myself from this. But, you know, if a man went into a car dealership and was like, hey, I want to buy a car, they'd be like, let's see, you know, do you have money for that? And he's like, oh yeah, I'll pay you in 2 weeks. They'd laugh at him. I'll pay you in 2 years. But women were trained, and that's why I don't want you guys to feel too ashamed. Okay, unless you keep actively making bad decisions and arguing with people about it. Women are not allowed to ask for that. Even though to these people, you know, we're more important than cars, we're not allowed to have the standards that people have for renting cars. Anyway.
You notice that no matter how much you love a man, if he leaves in your home alone, you automatically perk up a little bit. Or you kind of like settle back into yourself and you're like, this feels good. Whereas if you go on a trip and your guy's home alone, or he's just kind of hanging out by himself, he gets all sad and withered. It's because you feed him with your energy. This is why I hate 50-50 rhetoric. We have wombs. We are literally creative energy. We have the ability to create life. Like, we nourish them, we help them manifest, we raise their vibration in ways that they will never be able to reciprocate. As women, we can give it to each other, which is why when you're hanging out with your girlfriends, you can kind of tell sometimes when you're like gazing into your girlfriend's eyes, we nurture each other in a way that men are never able to do for each other or us. It is so important to have a partner who makes your 3D existence super zen so that you can raise yourself in the 5D and replenish yourself as well as him. Because you will be needing to replenish yourself more often if you're living with a man. A great man will create a super comfortable life for you and allow you to reach places spiritually, mentally, emotionally that were never possible prior. But a man that doesn't see your value will feed off your energy, become more successful, have a better time manifesting things. He won't appreciate you for it, and the whole time he'll be like, well, what were you doing this entire time, when really like his success happened because of you.
When women encourage you to increase your attractiveness and you do that in the hopes of securing a better type of man, I promise you, you are setting yourself up for failure. The only thing that happens when you go from being conventionally unattractive to conventionally attractive is you get first dibs on the trash. When the trash are outside and they're scouting, they see you, you look interesting, and they want to see how far they can take it. They don't look at you and think, oh, she's so beautiful, I want to do X, Y, and Z for her. No. They might do that in the beginning so that you let your guard down, inflate your ego a bit, and think, yeah, I'm so gorgeous. This is why he's doing all of these things for me. Let me tell you this. Your attractiveness does not change who he is. And if you really want to know who he is, if you want him to remove the mask faster, if you really want to see what he thinks about you, inconvenience him. Let him ask you for something that he wants and tell him no. Agree to do something and then change your mind. And his response to that will show you everything that you need to know. A man that has a warped view of women does not really care how beautiful, how smart, how charming, amazingly talented that woman is. If he thinks women are objects for his pleasure and use, that's not going to change. So if you are becoming conventionally attractive to secure a man, you are playing the game all wrong. You need to be becoming a better version of yourself, a healthier, more attractive version of yourself. One, to improve your quality of life, but two, to make it easier for you to acquire resources that help you do that. Not to play some kind of beauty Olympics and think that you're somehow better than the next woman because you look a certain way or your body is shaped a certain way. Let me tell you right now, you're not better than anyone. Yeah. Welcome to reality.
Do you have a guy in your life who has done something that clearly does not live up to your standards. For example, maybe you guys were in the talking stage and he took way too long to respond to one of your text messages. Or he said he was gonna do something and then didn't live up to it, or even left you hanging. If this is you, there are 3 things that you can do right now that can actually correct the behavior and make it a lot less likely that he'll ever do these things to you again. The talking stage is ultimately when someone tests you to understand what your boundaries are and how you expect to be treated. So don't feel bad if you have to use any of these 3 things. It is very, very normal. The first thing you're gonna do is called the playful push. The playful push is when you address what they did wrong, but the key is that you do it in a playful and encouraging way. So say, for example, someone doesn't text you back for a few days and then rolls in a few days later like nothing happened. The playful push would make it clear that you are not okay with their response time, but do it in a playful and sassy way. Something like, oh, so bold of you to roll in like that after a few days of a radio silence. I would probably put like a skull beside it, implying like you were gonna be dead to me. At this point, they'll probably apologize and let you know that they'll never do it again. This is because you were real with them, but didn't seem uncaring, angry, or bite off their head. If you do the playful push and they still test your boundaries, you're gonna move on to something called the calm call out. This is when you state firmly but lovingly your boundary again. And you're gonna reference the first time that you brought it to their attention. Hey, remember that time I told you that I don't like being left hanging? I don't like being left hanging. You are either gonna text this or say it as earnestly as humanly possible. Third thing, guys, is the ultimatum. Now, I could do an entire video on how to do an ultimatum. Let me know here in the comments if you want something like that. There is nothing that a guy or a girl fears more than losing you. If you do this thing again, I will need to say my goodbyes, and I don't want to. This is the most effective way of communicating your boundaries, but should only ever be a last resort.
The reason why every time you expect something from a man, you get disappointed. And I'm going to tell you what you need to have instead of the expectations that will get you what you want faster and guarantee you better results in every single relationship you get into. By the way, I'm Phyla, an award-winning life and relationship coach for women. I teach women how to prioritize sacred self-care, how to heal emotional and intimate trauma, and how to create healthy relationships for life. Now back to the conversation about expectations. Your expectations are a conversation you're having with yourself. It doesn't involve anyone else. It doesn't take into account what anyone else's needs or values are. It simply is about what you would expect from a person based on your limited perspective of what you believe should be happening. And the reason why having expectations always leads to disappointment and disaster and letdown is because no one knows your expectations but you. You carry your expectations around from situation to situation, and they're mostly happening in your head, not in conversation, because there's really no way to tell someone what you expect them to do in a respectful way. So here's what I want you to do instead of having expectations. I want you to create your requirements. When I'm coaching my clients, I tell them to expect nothing, but require everything. Require everything that you need. Require everything that's important to you. Require all of your non-negotiables. And require the things that you must have in order to feel safe, secure, loved, seen, and acknowledged in the relationship. So instead of expecting anything from a man, I want you to begin to require what you want from him. Create your relationship requirements based on the emotional experiences you want to have when you're in relationships. Make sure that it's rooted and grounded in the feelings, not materialism, not the things, but the feelings that you really want to experience when you are in a loving, committed, passionate relationship. And when you enter into a connection with someone, you're able to communicate the things that you require in order to allow that man into your life. And if he's not willing to accept your requirements or rise to the level of your requirements, then you get to let him go and he gets to go free. And there's no hurt or heartbreak because everyone knows what's required from the beginning and no one has to guess about what's expected. If you need more help with this, tap my name right here so that you can book a complimentary call with me at the link in my bio. Reminder, do not forget to like and engage with the content. Now, we all know that Valentine is coming. And I need my girls to come in for a little chit chat, okay? Ladies, especially the young girls, the young women, you know, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, the second to the last video is an example of what we do not want to do. The second to the last video, I repeat, is an example of what we do not want to do. Also, ladies, standards are requirements at the level we hold ourselves accountable to. Standards are not for a man to enforce for you or leverage you hold over a man's head to twist him into doing what you want. Because I've noticed this kind of concept with standards. Yes, I've been seeing videos talking about, oh, he proposed a walking meetup as the first date, but you want a well thought out planned date. God, do not tell that man that you want what you want. Simply accept him for who he has shown himself to be. Do not renegotiate anything. Do not leave him alone. You both are not compatible. Accept that you're not compatible and keep it moving. Because if you don't, you realize down the line why you should have accepted him for who he is when he showed you the first time. Leaving is always the best way to call your power back. So in conclusion, humiliation ritual is energy harvesting by degradation and destruction that transfers power and is successful when the party stays after the degradation and maltreatment. Caveat, guys, humiliation ritual doesn't just happen in romantic relationship. It also occurs very, very prevalently in parent-child relationships, friendship circles, work environments, especially when you need the money. Oof, damn. Once you notice that you are the target of a humiliation situation, do not communicate anything. It doesn't matter the type of relationship, even with family. Do not communicate as much because they are aware of what they are doing. Leave as soon as possible because they are banking on you gaslighting yourself for it to work. With that being said, as always, I am your host, the Empress H baby, and this is just my opinion. Yeah, guys, this is just my opinion. If you don't apply, let it fly. Okay, don't forget to like the content. Subscribe if you want more of this type of content. When you subscribe, turn on your post notification bell to be notified when I upload my next video. Comment your thoughts on this if you have any, and see y'all in the next video. Bye.